when it comes to things like assisted dying and things like gay marriage, we seem to be so far behind. You talk about both sides of the issue in the series so far. And one of the things is you go to those that are against the idea of... I say euthanasia.
Yeah, well, euthanasia is now how most people die. I call it assisted dying because, and I'll very quickly explain the difference. Euthanasia, which is what they do in Europe, is when a doctor injects you at your request after going through very stringent laws to end your suffering. Assisted dying is where you're prescribed a life-ending medication after going through very stringent laws. You have to have an extreme medical condition to get this right, and then you can choose to take that drink or not. And one of the fascinating things I discovered overseas in America where that law exists is that almost 40% of people, even though they're dying, who get this drink choose not to take it.
Yeah, and it seems like those people that are so outraged by it, it's always those who aren't directly affected by it that seem to be the ones that want to make the decision and be outraged. It's not those that are going through it. And that always seems to be a very frustrating part of this. Like you mentioned, as a country, we were the first to ever pass a law to legalise this.
In 1995.
That was overturned very quickly. And why do you think it is for what we feel is such a progressive country here in Australia, when it comes to things like assisted dying and things like gay marriage, we seem to be so far behind?
Look, that's a really interesting question. There is no public issue, including gay marriage, in this country in which there is a bigger gap between public support, every poll over 70%, and political inaction. And that was one of my starting points, exactly that, which is, why is it like this? And look, I guess a couple of things. I think the influence of the church, and in particular the Catholic Church, is still very strong in Australian politics. Even though I think you would find if you polled the congregation of the church, there will be a majority in favour of assisted dying. But the leadership in the church is still very influential. And I think, unfortunately, the leadership of our medical bodies, right now the AMA, Palliative Care Australia and the Royal College of Physicians are officially against assisted dying. What's fascinating to me is that the one medical organisation that's in favour of it are the ones that truly see the suffering. It's the nurses. And so, but what polling has been done of doctors shows that doctors are majority in favour of assisted dying. So there's a gap between the leadership of these organisations, the membership, and most particularly what the patients want. And to anyone listening this morning who is a doctor and I've spoken to many who say to me, I really agree with this, but I'm just nervous about speaking out. I think it is time to speak out.